Continental drying crisis. How freshwater loss is accelerating global sea level rise. Our planet is facing a silent crisis that's reshaping the very fabric of life as we know it. Imagine a world where water, our most precious resource, is vanishing from land masses and flowing into the oceans at an alarming rate. This isn't just a dry spell, it's a full-blown planetary shift driven by rising temperatures and human activity. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this crisis a natural consequence of climate change, or are we accelerating it through unsustainable groundwater use? Let's dive in. Rising global temperatures are turning the Earth's freshwater systems upside down. As heat waves intensify, water evaporates faster, glaciers melt, and humans drill deeper into underground aquifers to keep up with demand. The result? A staggering transfer of freshwater from continents to oceans, fueling both water scarcity and sea level rise. Jay Famigietti of Arizona State University and his team used satellite gravity measurements to track this shift, revealing a troubling trend. Between 2002 and 2024, freshwater reserves on land plummeted in regions across the globe. Dry zones aren't just expanding. They're merging into massive mega-drying hotspots, growing by over 800,000 square kilometers annually, about the size of the UK and France combined. These mega-drying zones include northern Canada and Russia, where melting glaciers and thawing permafrost are the main culprits. Meanwhile, in the U.S. Southwest, Central America, and a vast stretch from Europe to Asia, groundwater depletion from agriculture dominates the crisis. Why? Droughts and heat waves push farmers to pump more water, creating a vicious cycle. Groundwater loss alone accounts for 68% of the decline in land-based water storage. And this isn't just bad news for farmers. It's a major driver of sea level rise. Since 2015, freshwater loss from continents has contributed more to ocean level rise than melting ice sheets from Antarctica or Greenland, adding nearly a millimeter to global sea levels each year. Medichair Shuzai of Virginia Tech calls this perhaps the direst message on climate change to date. The continents are drying, freshwater is shrinking, and oceans are rising. But here's the twist. We're not destroying water. We're simply moving it in the wrong direction. The real question is, can we reverse this flow before it's too late? Benjamin Cook of Columbia University urges the deeper dive into the data to untangle whether climate change or human overuse is the bigger driver. It's a puzzle we need to solve, he says. And the clock is ticking. So, what's your take? Is this a warning we can ignore or a call to action? Let's discuss. Can policy changes and sustainable practices outpace the speed of this crisis? Share your thoughts below, because the future of water is in our hands. The hidden crisis. Groundwater depletion explained. The hidden crisis. Groundwater depletion and its untold impact. Once a thriving agricultural hub, the village of Bhairavpur now faces a dire situation as its wells run dry. The story of this small community echoes a global issue that demands our attention. For generations, villagers relied on the abundant aquifers deep underground for their water needs. But as motorized pumps became affordable in the 1990s, groundwater extraction intensified. Farmers, encouraged by government subsidies and cheap electricity, began planting water-intensive crops, believing the earth would always provide. But here's where it gets controversial. The earth had limits, and we crossed them. Satellite data reveals that aquifers beneath Bhairavpur and countless other towns worldwide are shrinking at an alarming rate. This depletion isn't just from overuse, it's from neglect. Groundwater, the silent partner in agriculture, industry, and daily life, has been largely ignored by policies and headlines. Its decline signifies the quiet unraveling of sustainability. In Bhairavpur, the consequences are evident. Failed wells, increased electricity bills, reduced yields, and rising water disputes among neighbors. Ramesh, a farmer in his 50s, and his daughter Meeta, an environmental science graduate, embody the struggle faced by many. Meeta's research reveals a 40-foot drop in the water table over 15 years and rising arsenic levels in deeper layers. The situation is critical, but not hopeless. And this is the part most people miss. We can take action to recharge aquifers and mitigate the damage. Communities in Rajasthan have revived ancient water harvesting techniques, while California farmers experiment with dry farming and winter flooding of fields. In Bhairavpur, efforts are underway to build percolation ponds, harvest rainwater, and shift to less thirsty crops. The battle against groundwater depletion is a fight against time and indifference. It requires a shift in mindset, recognizing groundwater as a living system rather than an endless supply. The earth and the water it holds remembers kindness. As we navigate the challenges ahead, we must listen to what lies beneath the surface. Groundwater is more than just water. It's history, it's life, and it's our responsibility to protect it for future generations. What will you do to be part of the solution? The surprising truth: land, not ice, is driving sea level rise. The surprising truth of how land, not ice, is now driving sea level rises has sparked widespread debate. Scientists have uncovered that land surfaces, particularly those reliant on moisture, are contributing significantly to rising sea levels, far exceeding the melting of glaciers. This acceleration is attributed to rapid loss of underground water sources, including soil moisture, lakes, aquifers, and even plant roots. As regions around the world become drier, they are increasingly interconnected into vast, mega-dry zones, expanding at twice the size of California every year. In contrast, previously, dry areas were often offset by wetter regions. But now, dry areas are expanding faster, leading to a phenomenon known as land-based sea level rise. These changes are occurring due to climate change, but human activities are exacerbating the issue. For instance, in regions like California's Central Valley and the Colorado River Basin, groundwater depletion has already merged with drylands in Central America, creating a massive dry region. The study highlights that overuse of groundwater, a practice driven by human demand, is accelerating this drying process, undermining both regional and global water supplies. Protecting this vital resource remains urgent, as its depletion threatens nearly 6 billion people worldwide. Scientists warn that decisions affecting water availability could have long-term consequences. To address this crisis, global efforts must prioritize sustainable practices and safeguard this critical resource for future generations.